Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. When I last left you guys, we had just cleared up one of the more annoying chapters in this game, that being the Feral Frontier, and we are going to be moving on today to Chapter 16, which we don't know the name of just yet, because they don't turn it over immediately like they do in previous games. Here we go. That being the Atonement. It's an interesting name for this chapter, we'll find out why momentarily. So here we have Rayson, who wakes up and finds that he is sleeping in a house and this massively fat, creepy dude is leering over him, kind of. What have you done with Nisala? I gaze upon the last living wonder of the Serenus royalty. We just can't get over just how freaking beautiful Rayson is. Which, yeah, I guess that's whatever. Rayson does look pretty freaking sweet, though. The Argent Wings manifest proof of royalty. So, what he's saying here is that herons with white wings are the heron or the Serenus nobility. So, Rayson is a prince. Not all of his kind have white wings. In fact, very few do. Most of them, I think, have black wings, just like the ravens, actually. I'm not sure if that's normal for, like, actual herons in real life. I don't think so. I think most herons are, like, lighter colors, aren't they? Like, in real life? I'm pretty sure. I've seen a couple. All this beauty, mine. The fortune I paid the Raven King seems like a pittance. And Rayson's like, wait, what? I've been sold to you? You are exquisite, even in rage. So that right there is Rayson slapping him across the face. My beautiful nose! You winged freak, you'll pay for that. And he's like, no, don't touch him! He's too beautiful, you can't hurt him! You mustn't be frightened. He's so creepy, this guy. You'll come to see how kind and charitable a master I can be. This is madness. No, this is Sparta. It's not Sparta at all, it's Tellius, but... Here we must be separated for a while. You must not raise a hand to this one. What do herons eat? Like, they're not carnivores, they're pacifists. They probably just eat, like, fruit and nuts and crap, yeah, I imagine. And what he's saying here is absolutely true. Herons are incredibly delicate. They are very frail physically, and constitutionally speaking, like they're very vulnerable to falling ill if in the improper environment. So they're just incredibly frail, fragile creatures. Jeez. So the only reason he wants Rayson is A, because he's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen, and B, because he wants to show off to all of his peers. Like, look at this beautiful thing that I have. Never mind that it's a living, breathing person. Anyway, I can hardly wait to see the look on Duke Gatos' face. Duke Gatos, by the way, is Vice Minister Lacane, who we did meet in a previous cutscene. He's also one of the senators. Curse your eyes. That is a very... That's probably one of the most scathing insults that's available to him, I imagine. Nisala, you wretch. Curse your eyes. It's pretty intense. So what are we doing now here? So we're back at Cien at the cathedral, after having completed our Laguz emancipation trip. And here's the Empress. Where's your usual entourage? There was some sort of disturbance. He's nothing but a child. Easy for you to say, you're literally 10 years old. She does not speak like a 10-year-old, though. She speaks like somebody who's far more mature, mentally and emotionally speaking, probably more mature than even myself, which isn't saying a whole lot, because I'm actually incredibly immature in real life. Just ask anybody who knows me. We are no thieves. What manner of absurd fairy tale is this? In the year Begnion 624, her grandmother emancipated every laguz slave. So the Empress is basically saying, no, there's no slaves, we freed them all. Noble houses keep laguz as servants or worse. Those vast windbags grant tacit approval by doing nothing. Yep, pretty much. I like how Ike's gotten to the point where he's like, don't you dare yell at the Empress when he himself did it, like, not 2 chapters ago. Why would you bring such an ill-mannered rogue to meet you? If anyone's planning something, it's you. So here's where we're learning that Ike is actually a lot more perceptive than he otherwise appears. He may be naive, but he's not stupid. Your last mission showed us the slave trade, and now you've put us in contact with an underground emancipation group. And Ike's like, that all seems a little fishy to me. So why were you using us to do all these missions when you have plenty of people you could have been doing it for? Ike's like, I figured it out. You want to expose it. You want to expose all the depravity and expose all the illegal slavery, but you don't want the public to know that the Senate is involved. And to think I thought you were as untutored as a wild monkey. You're actually quite bright. And this is where Ike's like, yeah, I thought it was weird, but I also have friends who help me figure it out. Probably Soren. Tormod doesn't seem to be able to grasp it, though. He's like, wait a minute, what are we talking about? Well, the Apostle knows all about the slavery, and she wants to do something to fix it. Whether I succeed or fail depends largely on what you do next. What are we doing now? I've received reports that Bishop Oliver, Duke Tanis, is up to something suspicious. No, you think? He has a villa near the woods of Serenus. Go there and return with irrevocable proof of whatever he's doing. And if we do this, then she will guarantee her support to Princess Elincia. Perfect. So now we are shipping out for Duke Tanis' villa. Here's the results of our last battle. We got Stefan. Oh yeah, Tormod and Morim, by the way, are now playable. They have rejoined our army. And as you can see there, right at the bottom there in green, is that fat load of bonus experience we got from the last chapter. 1,460 points of bonus experience from not killing any laguz. And, oh yeah, so good. And we cleared it in 4 turns, by the way, which is incredibly fast. And we earned a bunch of money. I'm actually not sure where that money came from. Maybe from stuff I sold or something. Anyway, we got a white gem, too, we can sell now, which is great. And we didn't lose anybody, because this is just Soren giving me the battle report. But yeah, 1,460 bonus experience just from 1 chapter. That is the biggest chunk I think you're capable of getting in this game. So now we'll go ahead and talk to Morim, now that he's on our side. So he calls Tormod Little One. And I think the general gist here is that Tormod was just like a Bjork orphan that he found and took in and decided to raise himself. And so Tormod is raised with absolutely no prejudice toward laguz. In fact, it's the opposite. He hates his own kind for enslaving and persecuting laguz. I thought she'd be some old hag, but she's just a kid. She's even shorter than me. You must lower your voice. The Apostle has no ears here. That is good. Speaking ill is considered treasonous. Yeah, no kidding. So Morim is actually displaying a degree of... I'm not sure what the word would be here. The degree of knowledge and understanding of Bjork customs that is atypical of most laguz. So he's warning Tormod, you gotta be careful what you say around here. For laguz, you seem to know more about the court etiquette here than my fellow Bjork. That's because I don't know much about this stuff, that's all. And Morim is here, he's explaining that the reason he knows so much is because he used to be a slave. We're wealthy and powerful, senators all. I was raised never to question my station as a slave. And he did the most grueling physical labor, as natural as breathing. We were drilled in the etiquette of polite... That's also why he stands so straight and upright, by the way. Like, he's very... I hate to say it, he's very well trained as a result of his incarceration. And it doesn't look like he's been able to shake those previous mannerisms off from that time, even though he's free now. I guess it's when you're raised like that, it's kind of hard to break those habits. I guess I can understand that. But it is very... You notice that Morim, especially as this progresses further, that he's very atypical of most laguz. And here Tormod's like, stop talking about it. We don't want to revisit it. A former slave like myself is present, you'll be judged, scorned, and looked down upon. Ike's going to be like, I don't give a crap about that. We made a promise. We'd change all of that. Families live together in peace and freedom, the world we dreamed of. Oh, crap. And then Morim's like, you didn't go through what I went through. Why would you dare have the same dream that I do? Tormod's like... Oh, he starts crying. And Morim's like, maybe I was too rough on him. You're born into a noble house, you're a noble. If your parents are slaves, you're a slave. Do you think a person's worth is decided by the moment of their birth? Again, another very realistic allegory going on here. Basically talking about class differentiation and all that jazz. Which, thankfully, isn't as much of a problem anymore in the current world, but for a very, very, very long period of human history has been, historically. Even up until very recently. And in some places still is, actually. Valencia is a princess. I don't think we treated her with more respect than any other employer, but we've addressed her as princess the entire time, but he's never really considered what it meant. Moram's like, you're blessed to have been such a, been raised in such a naive way as to be free from prejudice and free from social structure. Yeah, I can understand why I'd be pretty jealous of that. Ike's like, I'm not going to treat you different regardless of what your past is. Because Ike is as pure as the driven snow. I don't know everything that's going on, but you shouldn't be trying to push Tormod away. He's got a point. I have a good nose. Tracking the young one's scent while avoiding other Bjork is an easy task. Never mind. Okay, Moram has a very difficult time opening up, but he's actually an incredibly cool dude. Moram's actually one of my favorite characters in this particular game. I wish laguz weren't, as a general rule, not quite as good, unfortunately, in this game, because I would use him all the time if I could. And then we could talk to Stefan, who we only get this conversation because we have him and recruited him, obviously. How long have you been a member of my group? Oh, since like 2 nights ago. Part of it, because I'm curious. I watched the dance of your sword. It is incomplete, filled with hesitation. You have recently lost your teacher. It's amazing that Stefan is able to pick that out just from watching him swing a sword around, that he can tell he recently lost his teacher. Your foundation is quite strong, which is why I can be of service. I would love to see how powerful your technique will be when it's perfected. Mike's like, who the crap are you? You can learn the dance of blades for me without knowing my history, can you not? So here we get the choice of studying under Stefan or not. I don't really know that this makes a difference. I think, actually, no, it does. So if you say study, you get something. If you say don't study, you don't. So really there's no reason to not say study. So we'll go ahead and say study. You can help me perfect my technique. I will gladly accept an invitation from help. So we get an occult scroll, and that is actually incredibly important. We'll talk about that right now, actually. So Ike you only get 4 of these throughout the course of the game. And you only get the 4th one if you recruit Stefan. So we actually would have only gotten 3 if I hadn't gotten him. So what does the occult scroll do? So when a unit promotes into their promoted classes, every individual class, rather, not individual characters, but their classes, have a mastery skill. They were actually referred to as mastery skills in the sequel to this game. In this one, it says they're different skills depending on their classes, all it says. This teaches them their mastery skills, but only when they're promoted. And the mastery skills take up a lot of capacity. I think they're all 20. So if Ike were capable of learning his mastery skill right now, it would use literally all of his capacity. But that being said, the mastery skills, there's a couple of really good ones in this game, and the rest all suck. I hate to say. So Ike's is by far the best in the game. If you use the occult scroll on Ike after he promotes, he will learn Ether, which is the best skill in the game, which we'll talk about when he actually gets it. Suffice to say, it is an ability that makes him unkillable, and he murders everything. If he didn't already, now he does even more so. So we'll talk about that when he gets it. But if you use an occult scroll on someone like a cavalier, or not a cavalier, but a paladin, or if you promote Mist, she gets a horse. If you use an occult scroll on any of them, they will gain an ability that heals them occasionally, which is really cool. If you use it on a halberdier or a general, so like Nephany or Gatry, they will gain an ability called Luna, which allows them to cut the enemy's defense in half when they attack, which is really cool. That being said, those are really the only 3 good ones. All the other ones are kind of crap, and I guess we'll talk about them some other time, but we're going to be primarily using the occult scrolls for our mounted guys, and obviously one for Ike. But again, you only get 4 of them throughout the entire course of the game. So we got a lot of treasure from our last outing. obviously, so we're going to put all that away for now. I might actually give someone that physics staff right away, because physics staffs are fantastic. Don't need this laguz lance anymore. I'm going to pick up a steel lance instead. Ike does not need the occult scroll at the moment, obviously, because he can't use it yet. We don't need Soth. I'm actually going to keep using Soth, I think, because I actually prefer to use Soth over Volk. A, because I want to get Soth to level 20 before the end of the game. Because I want to be able to transfer him to the sequel. Have I mentioned that a whole lot yet? So, we'll talk about transfer bonuses maybe a little bit. But also because whenever you use Volk to open a chest or a door, he actually does take 50 gold from you. Soth does not do that. So he's just easier and cheaper to use in the long run, which is great. And as you can see, his stats are right around par, if not better than Volk's, and he's still a couple levels lower. So he just ends up being a better thief. The unfortunate reality is Soth does not promote in this game at all. So he's stuck. If you get a level 20 thief, that's as far as he's ever going to go. Stefan here, we're probably not going to be using him. He's just too dang strong right now. But we'll give him. We'll put this vague Kadi away. Nobody else can use it but him right now because nobody else has an S rank in swords. But you know. That being said, I think we're just going to roll up and get ready for this next mission. Do we have any support convos to do? Nope, not really, unless... Wait, where's Kieran? Nope. Nope, okay, perfect. So, I think we're good to go. If I have to worry about any items, I'll worry about that later. I don't think I need to give anybody anything either. Oh yeah, we can talk about Tormod real quick. So we get Tormod as a unit. He's a level 7 mage. He's very under-leveled for this stage in the game, unfortunately. But it is possible to train him. I've done it a couple times. He's actually pretty solid. That being said, he's not quite as good as Soren. He's probably pretty comparable to Ilyana, actually. He's a little faster than Ilyana, but he's not quite as strong, and his magic's good. His magic is very good. But he's also pretty frail. He does have a really cool, unique skill, though, that only he gets, and that is Celerity, in that his movement is increased by 2 spaces. Permanently. Excuse me. Which is pretty awesome. And he comes with C rank and Fire, which is the highest fire ranking out of any of our mages right now. So if you wanted a fire mage other than a wind like Soren or a lightning like Ilyana, you can use Tormod. He just requires some babying, or you can just feed him all that bonus experience you just got from last level. So if you wanted to use him, I'm not going to be using him for this playthrough, unfortunately, so I'm just going to stash all his magic books. And Morim actually does come with that demi-band that we found with him last chapter. So he has exactly the same stats as we fought him on the last chapter, which is great because, again, Morim is amazing. Those stats are incredible, even with the demi-band equipped. And sadly, if you choose not to use demi-band, his gauge starts out at 0, just like Mordecai's. So he's not usable for a few turns. But I generally, if I'm going to use him, I'll just keep the demi-band on him. There's no reason not to. So let's get rolling to the next chapter. Well, we're already in the next chapter, really, but let's get to the actual, meat and potatoes of the chapter here. So here we are. Ike and party has arrived at Duke Tanis's villa. It is rather heavily guarded. No, you think? It's almost like a senator lives here. Very high-ranking, influential person. Here we have one of the guards. Who goes there? Villa is property of Duke Tanis, center of the Empire. No trespassing. Under orders from the Apostle, we've been charged with investigating the Duke. And the guard's like, oh crap, okay. And Mist is like, we're gonna go sneak around and see what we can find. Not sure how Titania's gonna sneak around on a horse, but, or in plate armor for that matter. Imagine a tiny 13-year-old girl be a lot more expert at sneaking around than her, but, You lads claim to be here on the Apostle's business? We have a letter that bears her seal. Am I in a position to ask what exactly I'm suspected of doing? And Soren's like, the Apostle sent us here, and do you really want to discuss this outside? Like, for real? Soren is very clever at getting people to do stuff. I like Soren a lot, actually. He's a pretty cool character. The Apostle would honestly accuse me of an unfashionable thing as slaveholding? Yeah, it's almost like she's totally right, too. I never noticed, actually, the artwork in the background of his villa here, but he's just got, like, people, like, lying around bathing and being naked and crap. That's kind of creepy. But, again, not atypical of high nobility in human history. I've shown you every nook of my mansion, every cranny, have I not? No sign of any laguz. A bishop who only serves the apostles' will. Yeah, well, not sure how you got made a bishop in the first place, but... There is not a shadow of falsehood in my noble eyes. Look into them deeply. No, I'm good, thanks. Back off. Uh-oh, what's going on? So Mist comes back from sneaking around. I saw him in a room on the top floor. Looks like one of the bird tribes. What is this child babbling about? Long, sparkly gold hair, pale skin. They were white-winged. Titania saw him too. According to books, only members of the royal Heron family possess white wings. Appears there's at least one room we have yet to see. What's it gonna be? You gonna cooperate? Nope. Call the guards. Kill them all. And Ike's like, alright, fine, I guess we'll have to murder all of you people in this building. And this is actually one of my more enjoyable levels of this map, I think, actually, or this game rather, is this map right here. Devdin hears the sounds of battle. You don't know who the crap Devdin is. This guy, however. This guy, I'm going to guess, is the captain of the guard of Duke Tanis' house here. So now we are trying to basically more or less defend ourselves, but in a very aggressive way, I guess, in this chapter is one way you can think of it. So we're going to go ahead and leave Volk behind because we don't need him anymore. We're just going to keep using South as our thief. Sadly, we don't need Leith either or Stefan. I'm not sure if I want to keep using Mia or not, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, only because... yeah, she's doing okay. Maybe we'll keep using Mia. I do want to bring Mist. I do want to bring Oscar. I do want to bring Nephany. I want to bring Kieran, too. Problem is, you don't get a lot of deployment slots for this map. Do I bring... let's not bring Marcia. She's promoted already. We don't need her. So we'll bring Kieran. I don't know. I'm thinking, do I want to bring Gatry or not? You know, I don't think I'm gonna bother with Gatry this time. It seems weird, I know, considering my penchant for Armor Knights. Which I get, and I do really, really like Armor Knights. No, you know what? Screw it. Mia, I'm sorry, we don't need you. I do want someone tanky, though. So that'll be our party for the time being. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so I can see more stuff. Gatry's going in the front, as is tradition. With Armor Knights, they go right in front. Jill needs a few levels. Kieran does too. Oscar probably doesn't as much, so we'll keep him back a little bit. Oops. Can't move Ike, apparently. Go figure. We'll put Nephany and Boyd and Gatry in the front. Mages will be just behind. Thief will be in the back, because you don't need thieves as much. Let's take a look at the map, shall we? So, we start in this little hallway. We gotta go down this way, and then up this way, and then into the main part of the building here. There is a little side room right here behind this door, and there's another one over here behind this door. And there's a third one right here. We can see there's treasure in there, which is cool. And then the goal is to just seize the, I guess, throne, for lack of a better term. There's just a guy standing here in a colored square. This is the captain of the guard, Kimarsi? Sure, let's call him that. He has a spear, and he drops it. Sweet. Definitely want that. There's a promoted sniper here, too. So we're finally running into... I guess not regular promoted units, but we're seeing more of them now because we're getting close to the halfway point of the game at this point. Actually, I think we're about at the halfway point now. There's about 28 chapters in this game, so we just got there's a lot of smattering of different random kinds of dudes, and then we have this guy here. This is Devdin. We'll talk about Devdin in a little bit. Suffice to say, he's not necessarily a bad guy. He's just kind of standing here as an enemy, so you know what that means. Again, anybody that's not a boss that has an actual name and a portrait instead of just something generic, probably recruitable. In this case, it's definitely true. So let's go ahead and get rolling here. Actually, did I make sure I had my items good to go here? Soth only has a knife, unfortunately, which is unfortunate for him. I don't have a vulnerary for Oscar. Probably should get him one. Do I not have any vulneraries left? Oh shoot, that could be a problem. Well, I guess I can trade one from one of the people that's not coming. I don't generally keep vulneraries on everybody, only because I rarely use them. I don't know if you guys have noticed that through my course of playing, but I tend to just rely on healers being around to heal me rather than having to use vulneraries. A, because healers are far more efficient, they heal a lot more in a single turn than a Vulnerary does, because they only get 10. But also because I just like having them around, so... We don't need that stuff on Astrid either, do we? And Morim doesn't need a Demi-Band. I think we're good to go, that being said. Let's check Mist, see if there's any more stabs we can use. I'll get her backup heal just in case. Alright, I think we're good to go. Let's get rolling, shall we? 25 minutes in. This is going to be a short one, probably, as far as the combat situation is concerned, so my apologies for that. Alright, so first things first, we got a bunch of sword guys, and that means we stick our very heavy, awesome lance-using guy right out in front with his biggest beat stick. And we'll send... You'll notice... oh, it doesn't happen in this. In Radiant Dawn, when you play on an indoor map, all of your mounted and flying units have reduced movement speed. But thankfully that is not the case in this one, which is great. She'll probably get doubled by then. Oh yeah, for sure. They don't do a lot of damage though, so I think she'll be okay. And we'll send Oscar up front as well. All about the lances when you're dealing with sword guys. And I have a lot of lance people, don't I? I've got Nephany, I've got Jill, I've got Gatry, I've got Oscar. Lots of lances. Lances are fun. They're one of my favorite weapon types. I like axes a lot too, just because they hit like trucks, but axe guys not as effective against the swords people. Just bring Ike up front. I want to keep my axe units out of the way because they're going to get doubled and smote, but thankfully Boyd's just out of range. I think Gatry's the only one that is in range to get hit, actually, which is kind of strange. I don't know why they put you so far away from all the action right off the bat like this. It seems a little strange, but what do I know? We'll move Ilyana up here, and Soren right beside her down here. And Kieran over here. And then obviously we'll bring in Soth to do a whole lot of nothing. Just kind of sit there and look pretty. Alright, and here comes sword people. Right for my big bulky armor knight that's going to absolutely wreck their days. Because that is what they do. Oh, goodbye, sir. Oh, I guess he's not dead yet. Oh no, I get doubled. Whatever will I do? 0 times 2 is still 0, sucker. It's my favorite noise, by the way, too. There's just a tink off the armor that does nothing. This guy probably also won't do anything. Tink. It's so much fun. Oh, I missed! That's not cool. Again, I'm sure I've said it enough at this point, but who in the crap doesn't think armor knights are awesome? Let's be honest. Armor, like, the heavier, the thicker the armor, the better, in my opinion. It's just super cool. Does it mean you're a little bit restricted in your movement? Yeah, probably, but when you're not getting hit for anything, does it really matter? And yeah, I know they don't move as far as mounted units. I get it, but Cavaliers and Paladins can't do everything. Sorry, they just can't. Alright, so who needs experience on my team right now? Let's take a look. The weakest we got is, besides Soth and Mist, is Jill, actually. Jill, Kieran, Soren, and actually Gatry, believe it or not. So let's have Jill come in here and have some fun. And poke a couple of guys with a stick. We'll just go for the guy right in front, I think. That seems the most prudent course of action here. I cannot wait to promote Jill, because then she gets axes, and that's going to make her even better. Goodbye, sir. We'll just go a couple of turns, and then we'll move on to another episode next time. Alright, level up for Jill. Get some strength, please. Perfect! Strength and speed. Excellent. Not going to complain about that. Would have preferred some HP too, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. You can't have everything, and that's the story I learned about playing this game so much, is you just can't have everything. Let's see if Kieran is capable of hitting this particular person. There's a chance. Let's give it a shot. Kieran ends up being amazing, by the way, if you train him properly. Nice. Good kill, sir. Axe Knights, just so much fun. I think everybody should be able to use axes. Alright, we'll put Kieran... We'll put him right over here. We'll send Gatry up a little further to deal with this. Maybe not. That guy's got an axe. Why don't we have my mages, then? I'll have Nephany take care of this chump. Or I'll just wound him and have someone else... Oh, wow. Holy crap. Alright. Never mind. I guess she'll just have a kill at him. That's fine. Nephany, if I haven't mentioned already, is one of my favorite units in Fire Emblem, period. So I'm not shy about using her very much. I don't know why I like her so much. She's just incredible. You don't get a lot of soldier units in Fire Emblem historically, and I guess in like Gaiden you do, but in the Tellius games are really the only other ones where that's a thing, or Fates, I guess, but they're not called soldiers in Fates. They're called something else. Ilyana's not in range yet. Ike probably isn't either. Nope, he is not. Put him right here. What about Oscar's really high level? Soren's not in range yet. Guess we'll just move Gatry up and take a swing at this guy. Still only gonna do 5 damage to me if he hits. Which is pretty pathetic for a steel axe. He does have triangle advantage, I suppose, but... Oh, nice, I poked him. Oh no, 5 damage. Out of my 37 health. Please enjoy swinging at me 5 more times and still not killing me. We'll have Oscar fuck a javelin at this guy, I think. That seems to be the most prudent course of action. Maybe not. How about Boyd? Can Boyd take him out in a single swing? The hand axe... he still takes 2 hits also. He's got a much better chance. Yeah, we'll lead with Oscar. He needs to experience more. That's fine. Don't see anything wrong with that. Alright, goodbye, Mr. Axe Fighter guy. So... yeah, that's alright. I was going to talk about something. I'll bring it up next episode since we're about to wrap this up, so... Move. Mist over here. She doesn't have anybody to heal just yet, except for Gatry, but he's not in range of him. We'll see how my cluster of dudes does against this next group of enemies here. Oh, he's got a hand axe, does he? Jerk. How dare you throw axes at me? Alright, and then this guy comes up to... Oh, going for Ike, huh? Alright, well, it's your funeral, I guess. I'll be amazed if he hits me. He does not. Ike finishes him off handily. That's an armor slayer. That thing weighs an absolute ton. Which is why that Myrmidon, who should be fast, is so much slower right now. Although I think Ike has, like, what, 17 speed? So he doubles just about everything. Alright, so that's a couple rounds in, but we're going to go ahead and finish this chapter in the next episode, I think. So thank you very much for watching up to this point. I really do appreciate it. If you have not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I would very much be appreciative of that as well. And we'll continue with Chapter 16 in the next episode. So until then, as I've said, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and a like down below, and I will see you next time. Until then, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.